Hello, welcome to Points of Interest. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, along with my co-host, James, over here.
Hey, guys.
If you're new to the show, each week we come to you with video game news from around the internet. I won't lie, it's mainly about PlayStation.
That's fair. Today it's actually
There's quite a bit of
a decent spread here.
It's pretty much a Nintendo.
I'm pretty excited.
Nintendo, PlayStation.
That's right.
Whatever you please.
So,
But if you want to listen to the show, you can get it on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher. It's been a minute. I apologize.
Yes.
Google Play and Stitcher for the audio versions, or YouTube and VidMe for the video versions. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at IRGames. Stay up to date with the latest things we're doing.
if you are one of our loyal followers on SoundCloud, that's awesome and great and wonderful. We're probably going to be moving to Podbean soon. In fact, some of you may even be listening to this on Podbean a couple weeks later. So,
Couple leaks later.
There's
There's a leak in the boat.
So it may not. So if you end up on SoundCloud and don't see
Don't
this,
find us.
well, this probably isn't helping you. But just be prepared for that.
This message is not for you.
Watch our Twitter at IRGames, and we'll let you guys know when we're going to make the move.
And
So,
speaking of things changing, new Pokemon Go update.
dang, that was good.
Boom.
Boy, it's a good thing we didn't write these out beforehand.
I practice these things in the mirror in the morning.
You practice them in my mirror in the morning. That's what makes it weird.
Oh, hey, James. Like brushing your teeth. What you doing? Speaking of new things,
Speaking of weird people in my bedroom.
Pokemon Go. There was a Blissey in your bed.
Ah, yes.
There's too many places to go. All right.
Yeah.
Under the new system, it's mainly a gym update.
Mainly. Yep.
Is pretty much what I've picked up from it.
Mhm.
I have picked it up again. I have been playing a little bit
Yeah, you
because the gym that was next to my office also now doubles as a Pokestop. And I'm like, cool. I'm not just sitting here battling the gym all day, losing all my stuff.
Right.
But with the update, you can only have one of each monster in a gym at a time.
Yep.
Which means you're not gonna have 6 Blissies piled up inside the gym. Like, well, I guess I'll just
Quit.
go home then.
Yeah,
And
pretty
you
much.
fight them in the order they were put in the gym.
Yes.
So if a stronger Pokemon's put in first and a weaker Pokemon's put in last, you fight the stronger one first and the weaker one last.
I like it. I love it.
I think it's cool.
There's so many new things here with it, and they got rid of the prestige system completely. You don't train up your gym anymore.
Yep.
Right. You take it over, and you can put 6 Pokemon in. You still only get the one. They changed the way the coin system works. So if you were a person that it kind of like it's slided towards the casual player and
Yeah.
kind of pushes back on the more enthusiastic population, you would say.
There are some nods to the enthusiastic players.
Yeah, but so like with respect to the coins,
Yeah.
you can get a max of 50 coins a day. It used to be 100, now it's 50. So the way you earn them is you put a Pokemon in, he gets a coin for every 10 minutes that he's in the gym. And then you get up to a max of 50. So he's in there for 7 or 8 hours, he's going to get 40 or 50 coins, something like that. So that's the ratio that I've seen. It wasn't like officially announced, so it
Yeah.
could vary a little bit, but that's what I've experienced so far. The nice thing is that it's easier to get into gyms, right? And if you're not in a gym yet and you're fighting one, if you can blow through all the Pokemon in one battle, you do that 3 times and everybody's gone.
Yeah. If they're all at like
gone.
full motivation.
Right.
You get to motivate your Pokemon in the gym by feeding them berries.
Mhm.
And so they have a little heart, and when it's full, like they're motivated.
And they have the higher CP then.
Yep. And as you fight them, their CP goes down.
Mhm.
So as they lose motivation, their CP goes down. So they're easier to beat. So you beat them once, like, all right, that was the difficult one. Beat them again, a little bit easier. Beat them a third time. You breeze through it with like 2 Pokemon, and then you just
Yep.
drop your Pokemon and leave it
It's
there.
awesome. And so it gives you, it's just, there's a lot more incentive to go to the gym, right? You get
Yeah.
a gym badge the first time you go. And then by giving berries to people, by battling the gym, by spinning the stop at the gym, and just overall interacting with the gym,
Yeah.
you level up your gym. And as you level up the gym, you get more points when you spin it. And if it's your team, you get a team bonus for the gym itself. So you can feed other people's Pokemons, and there is a chance to get a candy of that Pokemon
Yep.
when you give them a berry. It's not super common. It's a little rare, but it's an incentive, and it gives you something to do with all those stupid raspberries you have, or the little red banana ones that no one uses.
Yep.
So it's really awesome. It takes a gym encounter from this dread of like, oh man, those guys have 10 Pokemon in there. It's going to take like an hour to take them down. And it's going to use all my potions and revives. And then I get to put one in and it'll be gone real quick.
Yep.
To now it's like, okay, there's 6 of them in there. I've got 6. It's going to take me 10 minutes. Take the gym, put my Pokemon in. And then the longer it holds, the better off you are. So it's easier for you to go grab 1 or 2 gyms and start to get some coins in. Whereas before, you'd put a Pokemon in, and then you would have to go into the store and claim your coins. You get like one claim every 21 hours for some reason. And that was the only way you got coins. So if you wanted to go get 100 coins in a day, you had to go grab 10 gyms. I don't know about you. That's really hard and time consuming.
It's just a pain.
So if you did it and had a really great way to do it, awesome. But for those of us casual people that don't, I've earned more coins in the last like 3 days than I did ever.
Yep.
Like it's a really awesome
100%.
way to do it. Another big thing here is the raid system.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking up. I realized like I didn't really
No, you're good. So
catch a bunch of it
they
in this
start
article.
out, it's the way that they first said it. You know, they brought down gyms and they told us what they're going to do, and then they started bringing it back, and they made it sound like raid was going to be like a really small rollout at first, and then within the span of a day, it goes from being unlocked for level 36 people in certain places to level 25. Like in 24 hours, it descended to basically the whole population, and then I think it was yesterday it dropped to 20. So that way, pretty much everybody that's ever played it can get it because 20 is a pretty low level. So what is a raid? It's basically just a superpowered Pokemon. So you've got 5 tiers.
Little egg.
Yeah. So what you'll see is you'll get a little notification when you open up your app if there's one in your area, which there almost always is. They seem to happen pretty much at every gym.
Yeah, they added more gyms too.
Yeah, they turned Pokestops to gyms as well.
Yeah.
They didn't really say which ones, obviously, but
So notice the
if you go around your area, there's one that's over by the pond over there, that entrance there by the church.
that's what I noticed. I have like a run of 5 I could hit on my way to work, just real easy. Just turn 5, go to work. And that first one that I normally got is a gym now.
Yeah, so raids are very interesting. They have a tier system, so the 1 tier, lower level Pokemon, the 4 tiers, highest Pokemon, right? And the 5th tier, they haven't done them yet, but the thought process is that's will be eventually how we get the legendary Pokemon. They will be really hard. They're going to require a ton of teamwork and a lot of people. But the way the raids work is that you see the timer and then you show up there, and you've got an hour window once the raid starts to go in and fight the Pokemon, right? And it's not a perfect system because you can join in with people that are there, right? But there's an hour window, so you don't know if people are going to show up as soon as it starts, going to show up later. But so I had one, the first one I did, like right after it launched for my level, I drove down and I found it was a 3-star. And so I parked my car right there and I waited for the timer to click down. It's got a cool little animation that you can watch from the Pokestop. And it was a Machamp, and it was 16,000 CP, right? Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Obviously can't do it by myself. So I tried anyways. Had to use the raid pass, which you get for free on your first gym. First gym you spin when you don't have a raid pass, get a free one. You can only get one a day. You can only hold one at a time. So I used it. I got crushed. I maybe got half his health down. There's a 2-minute time limit. All seems fair. I shouldn't just be able to chip away forever. So I was going to leave. But once you use your raid pass, you can try as many times as you want over the course of that hour. So I waited, and then 2 people pulled up. And so like I start a game, and when you start the match, it opens it up for 2 minutes to anybody in the area. Yeah. And then they can come in and we'll join that game. If you want to make it a private event, like with your friends, there's an option to hit private. And then you set your lineup. And it usually is going to default to like what it thinks are the best type advantages for you. Not always the case because sometimes it picks lower levels. So you can adjust it from there. And then you just jump in. And so I had 3 guys. There was I'm red, right? Team Valor. Then there was a Mystic, and then the yellow whatever, loser. Team Loser, sorry. And but so like I looked up and I saw him, and he just like he did a nod and like had his phone out and looked at me, and then like a guy pulled up. He was my age. The guy that pulled up next was probably in his 50s. And so he was
retired,
like
just plays Pokemon all the time.
He was like so happy looking around. They had their windows rolled down. Then we're talking, and I rolled my windows up because I don't really like talking to people all that much, especially strangers over a video game.
Hey, how you doing? He turns and you go like.
Yeah. So, but so I could see them on my screen. I could see their trainers and their levels. And so we jumped in. We're all fighting him. We took him down a whole lot quicker than I did by myself. And so then you get you get items, right? So you get golden raspberries, which are basically a super version of a raspberry. You can get I got revives. You can get different items from it. So I got 15 revives from that one.
Well, that's nice.
On tier 3. It turns out I use those a lot more now. And then I got rare candy, which you can convert into candy for any type of Pokemon. So right now I'm sitting on 4 rare candies, and I only need 4 more Magikarp candy. So guess what I'm going to be spending my rare candies on? Boom. Then there's a chance to get a technical machine, which you can use to change the moves on your Pokemon. So let's say if you're super into like the values and stuff, let's say you have a really high IV Pokemon, right? There's calculators you can use online for stuff like that, but his moves suck. Now you can change them. If you get a technical machine, they're called TMs in the games. I realize they never actually say what those are in the games. But you can teach them new moves. So if you want to learn Hyper Beam and you get that TM, great. Now you can. Really cool little mechanic. I haven't gotten one. I've done 3 or 4 raids. I haven't gotten one yet. They're rare. But then when it's all said and done, it shows you a tally of which team did the most damage, how much damage you did, and you get assigned a certain amount of what are called Premier Balls. And then you get a chance to go catch the Pokemon you just raided against. Albeit, you don't get to catch him at the 16,000 CP. He comes down to a normal level. Mine was 1619, my Machamp. And so I got 9 balls. And you could use all your raspberries, all your regular berries, and you could only use these Premier Balls. And he won't run away until you run out of balls. So those balls go away. It's only for that one-time catching event. And that's pretty much it. So it's awesome. So I got a Machamp. Never even seen a Machamp, right? I'd only seen like 2 or 3 Machops. Right? I was never going to like catch enough to level up far enough. Well, now I have one. And so it was cool. It was fun. You got to see other people with it. There's disadvantages at this point. I mean, there's a huge window and you never know when people are going to show up. So the tier 1 and tier 2 stuff, they're a little bit lower levels, so it's easier to do on your own. Tier 3, you can't. At least I can't. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to do. So you are going to run into times where you might just not get it because no one's there. And there's a lot of raids. You know, if we've got 3 gyms in our area, and we usually see at least 2 raids a day on each of them, which is cool. It's great to have the opportunity, but because there's so many opportunities, less people are going to go venture out to go do it, right? Because it's like, oh, I'll just wait a few hours and do it later.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they adjust it and tweak it. I'm sure they will, but by far and away, gyms are way better. They actually make me want to go do it.
There's incentive to go to gyms now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to do gyms before because the only thing that was near me, where I'm at for most of the day, was a gym.
Yeah.
And once you take it over, like it's kind of in a weird spot. So it's like, all right, people don't really come by it. So you just get to drop your Pokemon on it, stays in there for maybe a day or 2.
Yeah.
But
so it should be fun. I'm really excited about it if you can't tell. I enjoy the catching aspect and playing the game, and I like the gym change and eventually with the option to have legendary Pokemon. And they don't have a ton of Pokemon that appear as raid bosses. I think there's like 6 different kinds on each tier, 6 different Pokemon.
Yeah.
But it is cool. It's just a unique way to go do it. You get a bunch of XP as well when you do it. So if you're looking to go up a level or something like that, that helps a lot. I'm really happy with it. They rolled it out a whole lot faster than I expected. They flipped the gyms and did the raid like inside of a week. And I thought it was going to be weeks and weeks and months.
Yeah.
So very excited.
I think it's cool. Definitely good. I picked it up again. So
Yep.
Moving on.
Boom.
SNES Classic. This was announced this week.
Yes, it was.
Was not a surprise.
No.
I would have to say.
I think we knew it was coming.
If you've been kind of following Nintendo, then you knew like when they stopped the NES Classic, that the SNES Classic was soon to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have a release date, September 29th. It's going to release at $80, at least here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story. There was some updates on Eurogamer. It obviously sold out immediately.
Yeah.
So it sold out on Nintendo's UK site within a little bit, and then it popped back up for $70.
Yeah.
And then sold out again, and it popped up on Amazon's UK site for $70.
And they price matched it. Yeah.
Yep. And they're gone again. So
yeah. Oh yeah, they go quick. It's so September 29th. I was actually kind of surprised they announced it this far in advance. We're talking 3 months away. Now with the Nintendo Classic, I'd have to go look it up, but it definitely was not that quick of a I don't
remember. It was kind of like, oh hey, we're doing the NES Classic, and then it's like, hey, it's out soon.
Right, exactly. So
did they announce it at E3?
I don't honestly know.
No, I think it was direct in the middle of the year. I don't remember. So the thing everybody's interested in with the SNES Classic, while he's looking that up, is the games lineup. So there's I forget the actual number, but you can count them as I read. Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, which is one that I'm excited about. I love Donkey Kong. Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, the best Legend of Zelda, if anyone's curious. Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2. You heard me.
That sounds new.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, amazing game. Super Mario RPG: The Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch Out, and Yoshi's Island.
All very, very good games.
Yeah, they're all great games. Star Fox 2, a little note here, was never released.
Never.
So obviously it's coming out on this, but the only way you can play Star Fox 2 is if you beat the first level of Star Fox, just the first one. Which I think is kind of a fun little mechanic.
Yeah, it's
like,
interesting.
don't just jump into the game that nobody's played yet.
Right.
Like, all right, play Star Fox. If you like that, beat Star Fox first, then play Star Fox
I would
2.
like to know why Star Fox 2 is coming out now. Like, was there like a troubled development and never got released? Did they keep working on it and just finish it later on? Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Maybe it was like a late development, and they're like, well, we didn't make it to fit on the Super Nintendo and the N64.
It's weird. It's great that it's coming out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
So
Did you find anything about the...
Yes, so it was actually we were way wrong. So the classic was announced. I'm looking at an article. It was announced July 14th, but it did not launch until November. So we knew about it way in advance. I am actually
We were wrong.
I'm starting to remember that they did that. Remember that, and
I go, hey, that thing coming out. Yep.
yeah. So 21 games on
Yes.
the new one.
System comes with an HDMI cable, charging cable, which I'm assuming just means power.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing on here wireless.
Right.
The 2 SNES controllers that you can beat your friends in Street Fighter.
Right.
I have Street
Always.
Fighter 2. I have 2 copies of Street Fighter 2. Funny enough. And the cables on the controller
Yes.
are 5 feet
Boom.
instead of 3 feet.
I like it.
On the NES Classic, they were 3 feet,
Mhm.
which is stupid. It's 2017. Figure it out.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm still a little bit like, just this much like annoyed that they're not wireless. Like, come
Yeah.
on, tell me it doesn't fit. Hand me a Joy-Con and then hand me an NES controller. Tell me it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I got you. It's it does kind of stink that it's not wireless, but
At the end of the day,
it's that retro.
It's $80.
$80. All the games are really good. These are all classics. 2 Kirby's is an interesting call, but whatever.
Yeah.
All these are great.
One Kirby is, I don't know, Superstar. I think that's probably actual side scroller.
Yeah,
Kirby's Dream Course is like a golf game.
true.
Sort of.
That's true. I'll give it. They're different enough. It's just of all the places you think you would have 2 of the.
There's part of me that
universes.
wonders, maybe Nintendo's not influenced by this as much.
Yeah.
But I know, like, if they're trolling around the video game market for Super Nintendo games people want to play,
Yeah.
the Game Grumps have been playing through Kirby's Dream Course
Mm-hmm.
for recently.
Right.
It was one of those things I wonder, like, oh, like, millions of people are watching that. Maybe we put Kirby's Dream Course on it. No, I doubt it.
Right.
But maybe there's tastemakers inside Nintendo like, hey, like, we're watching Let's Play channels. They're doing this. We should do it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I feel like there's just not enough to justify the price. I know, crazy, 21 games, $80. That sounds like a steal.
Yeah, but the NES Classic was 30 games and $60.
$60. So I know these are bigger games, these are better games. I don't know, it's pricey. It kind of makes me want to go down the Retro Pi, Raspberry Pi route.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
and
like,
look into something like that.
I was more excited for the NES Classic and the games on it.
Yeah.
And that might be because I had a Super Nintendo.
You played some
Not
of these
necessarily saying that I played all the games on there that I want to get, but like Donkey Kong Country, a lot of this stuff is just like, yeah, this would be purely nostalgia for me. Like, I would play Donkey Kong Country, I would play Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario, like games that I already own on the Super Nintendo that I have.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know if I could justify spending
$80.
$80 on a
Yeah.
game that I have, but like the original Super Mario Bros. Or the original Legend of Zelda or Donkey Kong or Mega Man 2, like all these things that I never played because I never had an NES, it's more exciting to me than
Mhm.
the Super Nintendo.
I agree with you. I think it just leaves a little bit to be desired. There's definitely some good options. There's real classics, but I'm a little disappointed with it and this price point. You're gonna make me pay more for less.
Yeah, it's still just a little.
I don't think I'll get it. Mainly just because I'm looking into alternative options that are not officially curated by Nintendo. I just think it'll be a better deal in the
Yes, you
long
do.
run, and then I can just continue to add to it if I want. So that's the SNES Classic. They
Yep.
do say they're going to be making significantly more. They didn't give us a number on how much, but they said they
Yeah.
have learned from their stock issues before, and they're going to have a much longer period that
It's
they're
going to
going
be
to have
September
it.
through end of calendar year.
End of 2017 is what they said. So they give you a firm date right at the beginning, so you know Hopefully they don't have the same stock issues. If this is going to be a good seller for people, great, go for it. I like the size of it. Being able to fit in your hand is kind of cool. You like tape it to the back of your TV.
Perfect.
I don't know why you would want to.
You lose a foot of your cord just going behind the TV. You're like, crap, now it's only a foot longer than
yeah,
the
but
NES
it looks
Classic.
cool. So
Nice and clean.
still have to sit right here in front of the TV, but you know,
TVs have gotten bigger.
you know, whatever.
Visual range has not.
Indeed.
Yeah. But moving on, Anthem, a game we're super excited about.
Yes.
It's our next probably several 100-hour adventure. Hopefully.
Well, we got Destiny 2 coming out this fall.
I know.
So.
So we might have a couple thousand hours to put in the games. Boy, it's weird to think about.
Hope you guys like generic sci-fi content.
Zing. But article on Eurogamer, Anthem is to be more like Star Wars than Mass Effect as far as its kind of fantasy nature.
Good.
I think it's very good.
Thank goodness.
So less what did it say?
Mass Effect is a hardcore science fiction IP.
Exactly. It's digging, like, you go and you scan the planet and it pulls up elements and you read stuff about the elements. It's just like, all right, you run to the computer and read stuff about that. Like, it is as detailed as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Whereas like Star Wars and Destiny, here's a planet with a species on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to know. You kill the people on this planet. That's
Yeah.
your job.
Exactly. I like it. I'm sure there'll be a great story behind it, but it's one of those where you have to suspend some of your logic and be just like, okay, why is this like it is? Because it is. Okay, cool, good enough for me. So I'm excited for it. It's, we didn't really get a lot of new information here. I'm glad they clarified that it's closer to like Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic and things like that.
Yeah, because they made those games.
Yeah.
It's just like, this ain't their first rodeo.
No, I mean, they're
making a cool sci-fi game.
cool. When we talk about cool
Not to say
sci-fi
Mass
games
Effect's not cool.
and MMOs, like really, everything that they're doing in Anthem, they've already done in some aspect in another game.
Yeah.
And so I'm really stoked for
Putting
it.
it together,
Hearing just like
package
even just little snippets from the developers like this is it's all positive. Some people talk about starting maybe a 10-year journey for us. Everyone always chastises like Destiny and stuff like that for it. No, that was really just when it came up with Bungie and Destiny, it was really just talking about the contract between Bungie and Activision. It wasn't like this huge, like them committing to this being a 10-year game
every year.
It was one of those.
10 years.
It was like one of those leaks that came out and they talked about the contract, and that was what they wrote. And Bungie is never one to squash rumors, so they just kind of let it go, and it kind of got out of control. But I do think that there's big plans for this, and given what little we've seen about it, we're going to see the game next year again for sure. I'm done. I'm down. Let's do this.
Really fun.
We'll be a year out of Destiny 2, so I think things might be winding down. I don't really know what Bungie's going to be planning.
They'll be winding down.
I'm sure
they'll be spinning up new DLCs. At that
I'm
point,
sure
but
they'll be kicking up a bunch of stuff in response to this, but we'll definitely have had our fill, at least for the time being, of Destiny 2.
Yeah,
so.
I wonder how much it's going to be like, Guardians versus freelancers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm a Destiny player. Like, well, I'm an Anthem player. And it's just like, there are going to be people like you and me in the middle, like, well, we play both of them.
That's right. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Sunday, we just play both.
Sunday, we hold 2 controllers.
I'll do the left hand of his controller, and he'll do the right hand of mine, and that's what we'll do together.
Who's feeling more accurate today?
Yeah. It'll be great.
No, I think it's cool. It's BioWare's first new game since Dragon Age in 2009. Gosh, I think it'll be super cool.
Yeah, I don't know how it won't be.
Yeah,
I know. We're too optimistic. I think it's
maybe
it's part of the problem. We're very
we haven't been in
positive
this industry
people.
long enough to be like
Pessimistic.
cynical about everything,
Yeah.
like pessimistic to be like, yeah, give me another generic science, like generic fantasy space.
I don't even know how you
FPS.
make this generic. There's only been like 2 or 3 games ever that are anything
I
like
know,
this.
it's just one of those, I mean,
the scale.
well, because it was funny at the end of the day, if you boil it down to its base parts, like, cool, first-person shooter.
It's third person.
Is it?
Yeah, it's third person.
Okay, third-person shooter then.
That's true. I mean, it doesn't change anything.
Cool.
But-
You've changed perspective. They developed another shooter.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah, it really just depends
what
on how
Destiny ended
far
up
you
being,
want to
like,
boil
Destiny,
stuff down.
First-person shooter,
It's true.
just with content that you play over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I would like Anthem to be a little bit different from Destiny in that way, to give me more what Destiny is now.
Yeah.
To where it's like, okay, like I don't necessarily want to raid, because sometimes I do when I'm feeling it, like, and our right group of people is on.
Yeah.
Then I'll jump in, not necessarily to raid, but to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
So, but I can do like nightfalls and challenges and this other stuff. So I'm hoping for more of that in Anthem.
Yeah, I
That's
think
just, like, varied content.
when Destiny shifted from the checklist mentality, right, to having to do everything the same, like every week you have to get all these things done, to like a choice of like, here are all these options and you don't have to feel like you need to check all these off. That's where it really started to grow as a game.
Yep.
Because I felt like I had to do trials every week for a while.
You have to do
And
Nightfall,
I had to
Trials,
do
and Raid.
Nightfalls, and we had to go and do Skolas, and it was exhausting, and some of the content wasn't super fun, and they transitioned out of that and made more things on the same level of rewarding. So if you didn't want to go do trials, don't go do trials. Sure, you don't get that armor, but you can still get top quality gear by doing these other activities. So by giving you more of that end game stuff, they learned how to make an end game in an MMO style game.
Yeah.
I know it's not MMO. I get it. Really, I know. I've played World of Warcraft. I get it.
It's fine.
But for what we're looking at on a console outside of Final Fantasy 14, that's an MMO, right? Destiny is as close as it's going to get. And so they learned, and I think Anthem comes in already, one, having seen them do that as a competitor, and two, with their experience with MMOs and experience with huge RPGs and experience with sci-fi stuff. They have already done the things that they can or can't do. They've shown us that they're already focusing on the facial animations, which, whatever. It's just an interesting
Who cares at the end of the day?
aside.
I know. I say who cares. We made fun of it.
I mean,
So-
I care. It's important to
I
me.
care a little bit, but then like I mean, we're gonna see a lot of those animations once and be like, they look cool.
Yeah.
The main part of this game is not gonna be talking. A lot of Mass Effect is talking to other people.
Conversations and
just-
relationships.
all that's what it is. It's relationships. You build your relationship with everybody else.
It's exhausting.
So when facial animations are screwed up in that kind of game,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
I barely want to put that much work into my real life relationships. I'm not going to play a video game where I have to do the same thing with alien races.
Exactly.
That's
It's
exhausting.
one of those things. Like so, you see that in Destiny. In Destiny, it's
Mhm.
like all the animations look great, but how much do we watch them now? Cutscene comes up, skip, 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 skip. I don't need to see this. I've seen it already. I want to keep playing.
Cutscenes are great.
So I do see myself with this. Like we get a year into Destiny, be like, all right, kind of tired of Destiny. I mean, you know how it was. Maybe 300 hours in,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, man, I want to play something else. Yeah, but you and everybody else were like, man, let's just start. Like they released a hard mode for the raid this week and the challenge modes, and I'm like, eh. So I feel like at that point it'll be like, oh cool, Anthem. I'm gonna go play Anthem.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if really, I mean, it's a two-part thing. It's like, what does Destiny 2 look like a year from now versus what Anthem looks like
Yeah.
on launch, and will Destiny 2 at launch have the content that Destiny 1 does, and what does that look like? There's no way that they launch as bad as Destiny originally launched,
Yeah.
which was still really fun.
It's fun, but you had to make a lot of your own.
So
fun.
I think that's what it boils down to when we're talking about Anthem. Like, there's no way you can talk about Anthem and not talk about Destiny. And so Destiny has a very important year ahead, right? They've got the 2 DLCs already planned, which sound really cool. Remember, it's cut from the disc. It's already on the disc, right? It's how they get you. Idiots. So we'll see. It really it depends on how Destiny 2 starts. And if we have a subpar story, then maybe things struggle a little bit out the gate. I don't think we will. I think Luke Smith is a very good director of the game, as he took over at the Taken King and then obviously did the Rise of Iron stuff, and he's heading up Destiny 2. He clearly knows what he's doing, and they've an interesting note here. They talked to them at E3, and we didn't really cover a lot of Destiny because there just wasn't a lot to cover yet.
Yeah.
But they were talking about the story, right? And this is just transitioning into slightly of a new topic. But so they talked about the darkness, right? There was 2 like big, huge things in Destiny. We heard about it in the vanilla campaign, and then we didn't really hear much about it, right? One was the darkness, right? And the second was the Traveler.
Yeah.
And so, good or bad, Luke Smith's come out and said that the Travelers, or not the Traveler, the Stranger, right?
Yeah.
The girl is Stranger. Obviously, the Traveler.
I don't have time to explain what I don't have time to
Right.
explain.
So his theory, his what he says about the Stranger is that storyline is done. Like, they felt like it was answered enough, and they're not continuing with that, at least in Destiny 2's initial story.
Yeah.
Good or bad, indifferent. They're not. It kind of stinks. It felt a little open-ended. It felt like
It kind of was.
I'd like the option of her being from the future or whatever. I would like to hear more about that. But I think
Destiny 3.
they're trying to, we're talking about, there was all the contract disputes at the beginning, and they had the story, and then there's a lot of rumors that they cut a bunch of stuff right at the beginning and did a whole rewrite, and some stuff just didn't make it through that needed to, and so it didn't tie everything together. And in the first game, the enemy was the darkness, right? whether it was the Fallen or whatever. Like they never really defined the darkness.
Yeah.
And so they asked him at E3, asked Luke Smith, he's like, so what about the darkness? And he's like, honestly, when we sat down and started working on Destiny 2, we don't know what the darkness is. We don't. Like, we don't have a clue what it is. So it's not in Destiny 2. They shied away from it in the last couple DLCs and stuff with Destiny 1. And it's not the Destiny 2 story. It's not about the darkness. The darkness is kind of behind locked doors and not being used as a term anymore.
Yeah.
So it was something that was super just broad, and they really didn't even know how to define it. And so it just shows like
I think it's okay. It's one of those things. It's like, all right, we're just kind of trimming the fat off of Destiny 1. Like, darkness, stranger. All right, we want to focus on, like, you protect your light. You're not fighting the darkness, you protect your light. That's what you're doing. And the enemy's coming to take your light away.
Yeah.
So I think that's super cool.
So it's good. It's just a little disappointing because there was some open-ended stuff from the vanilla campaign we didn't get through. But Luke Smith has proved himself, I think, as the head of the program for
Destiny fans out there aren't not excited. I think it's what you're kind of expressing. It's a little bit disappointment.
Yeah.
But
as a big
still
Destiny
a lot of
fan.
excitement for Destiny 2.
Yes, it's kind of a clean slate, and it's taken away some of the mistakes that they've had and the focus on the story. I mean, you played Taken King and Rise of Iron. I thought those stories were really good.
Yeah.
Much better than the first set. Not that I didn't like the first set, but these ones were all really fleshed out, and you almost felt an emotional connection, and you were able to really get involved with it. And now you obviously see they're going to go that same way. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But that's just, as we talk about Anthem and we talk about Destiny's launch, those are things that stick out in my mind, is that Bungie is actively trying to fix the mistakes they made both in gameplay and in story, and give you the Destiny 2 that they deserve. Lots of people outside of Destiny will poo-poo all over them.
Well,
but what are you going to do?
Not our fault they don't like to have fun.
That's right.
Speaking of having fun,
yes,
the drop. Boom! Bloop. Here it goes. The big one we're all excited for. The Bandicoot in the room.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Area Deluxe Edition. I'm really excited for that.
I was going to say Arizona Sunshine, but that's cool. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy comes out on the 30th, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow when this posts, it's tomorrow.
Yep. So
Friday.
Here's my question: are you getting it tomorrow?
100%.
Like release? You gonna get
Probably.
it? Okay.
I'd like to, just because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I really want to play Crash.
It's probably not going to come down much in price. I mean, it's $40.
Exactly. It's $40. It's digital, so I'm like
3 full games.
Yeah.
Like
I can get it. I'm thinking now if I play my cards right, because we're taking a trip to my in-laws this weekend. So if I get it on Friday, download it. It'll just be on my console when I track my happy little butt out to where they live and there's no internet.
Oh, you can take
Crash
Crash console with you?
Yeah.
Okay, but you were going to finish Zelda.
I was. I still am.
Decisions. You got to alternate. You can't just do Crash
I know.
1.
I'm gonna take my Switch with Zelda and Mario Kart with me, because I'll be with my family and we can play Mario Kart 2 players at a time, because I'm not gonna buy more Joy-Cons just yet.
That's true.
But
that's fair.
When I'm just like, if I get time to just like sit and play as me, I'm like, I'm gonna play some Crash Bandicoot, because I'm not gonna play Battlefield out there.
That's true. Yeah, that'll be fun. So June 30th. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up this weekend or not. I think I might. I have to swing it by the old wife Dizzle, but
swing it by the balls.
It should be a good time. Everyone is always saying good things about it. If you've watched videos on it, looks pretty. Stays true to the original.
Do you know what Crash Bandicoot is? That's Crash Bandicoot.
What it is. I'm hoping that we hear more about other Crash games that would be cool to have, like Crash Team Racing, or Crash.
If you beat all 3 Crash Bandicoot games, it unlocks CTR, and you can finally play it again.
Or Crash Bash. That'd be a fun one to have back.
I never played that.
It's basically Mario Party, but Crash Bandicoot. I love Mario Party. I've always wanted to get.
I know.
It's just fun.
When it comes out for the Switch.
Done.
Mario Party, what are they on now? 10? Mario Party 10 Deluxe.
Don't matter.
Carry
I'll buy
2
it.
items.
I don't even care. All right, what else we got?
I'm just kind of poking around through the list. Nothing like... I watched the Let's Play for Arizona Sunshine. PSVR.
Mm-hmm.
So, put you in the midst of a zombie apocalypse exclusively in VR. Handle weapons with real-life movements, freely explore a post-apocalyptic world, and put your survival skills... So close.
You were almost there.
Put your survival skills to the test with PSVR. I watched Let's Play on this. They were using the... I forget what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
The gun remote thing.
Yeah.
Looks kind of fun, but the issue I saw with it is that PSVR can be kind of jittery.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to aim down the sights of this gun and it goes. So you're like, well, it's not super useful. And it could have been like they were in a brightly lit studio. So the camera's looking for these two, like, these little shining
Two
markers.
bright dots on
the
other
two bright dots,
dots.
and then all the things on your head. But
Yeah.
it can't see them because it's seeing all the
Yeah.
light on you to light you
Who
for
knows?
cameras. So that
I'm
might
sure
have been
it's
it.
I'm sure it's a good time.
Yeah, it looks kind of fun.
There's a lot of
PSVR
VR
titles.
games. There's like 4 or 5 different like digital VR titles here. I mean, they don't all necessarily look worth it. I mean, one of them's called Cavernous Wastes. I mean, that screenshot looks like it's Microsoft clip art.
It does. It's like that
it's not good.
screensaver of the rat running through the maze. Like, come on, you
Yeah.
get to the end. Always wanted to play that game.
One that looked interesting to me was Cryptark. So it's
So you sent me a link for this the other day.
yeah, I
didn't
did. It 2D sci-fi shooter. Initially, if you watch gameplay, it kind of looks like a top-down, but it is a side scroller.
you? It looks like Metroid.
Yeah, it looks similar to Metroid. It's got a unique art style, but the vibrant colors and stuff make me think of like Resogun and stuff like that.
Yeah, Resogun
Like that
or
style.
if any of you out there played Axiom Verge.
Yeah,
Or
similar to
Axiom
that.
Verge, pretty much Metroid.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's not super expensive, so
Yeah.
I might pick that up. I don't normally go for indie games like that.
Yeah.
So
If any of you are kind of the virtual novel fans out there, Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Goers. Haven't played Danganronpa. I see it roll across the Vita subreddit all the time. Everybody's like, man, I'm so happy you guys kept recommending Danganronpa. Like, gosh, like I haven't even finished Persona 4 yet. Like, it's just, that's a lot of reading.
yeah,
Just can't do it. When
That's
I'm at home,
fair.
I'm playing my PS4.
exactly. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. Some people be like, what is this? Because the description on it kind of stinks. Mainly, all it is Diablo 3, but with a new class. Ooh. Necromancer. Finally released.
Is anyone going to tear this apart for them releasing Diablo 3
I mean,
again?
they're doing two things. So you could, if you haven't bought the game, buy the Eternal Collection. Comes with everything in the initial like PS4 setup and also the expansion. If you already have the game, you
Yeah.
can go buy the expansion for it. The expansion is $15. You get a new character. Like the other stuff that comes in, like the new realms and new things like that, come with the update. The only thing you're paying for is the new character. So if you really want to play as a necromancer, it's only $15.
Yeah.
I don't think I will.
It's one
I
of those things like,
depends on if you really want to play as a necromancer.
yeah, I mean, the reason I'm curious about it is to go back a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Go to Bethesda's conference at E3. Skyrim, Doom.
Yeah.
They're releasing these things out. Everybody's like, dude, Skyrim's been out for
Mhm.
however long it has been now, six years.
Oh yeah,
Well, Diablo 3's been out for 5.
it's true.
It's one of those
It's
things
true, it
like,
is.
I just, not that I'm jumping on the train of like, man,
Yeah.
why would they release something new? It's like, okay, this is an expansion
Yeah, it
on
is.
Diablo 3.
It is.
Not
It's
expecting
bringing
them
a
to put out
character.
Diablo 4.
Right.
But
Yeah, so I'm interested in it. I don't know if I'll get it.
Yeah.
There are people that still play Diablo 3 religiously. They have seasons they just brought to consoles a few months ago. There's a lot of really awesome stuff going
Yeah.
on. If you haven't played Diablo 3, go buy it.
I would recommend it. That
Quit
game
being
is
an idiot.
Fun.
The co-op on it on console is unbelievable. I couldn't believe how well this game adapted to a controller. I played Diablo 1 and 2 and 3 on my PC and then moved to PS4 with Diablo 3,
Yeah.
the Reaper of Souls edition.
It's Reaper of
The
Souls,
expansion
yeah.
pack,
That's
the
what I
first
have.
expansion for Diablo 3. It's just what you got when you got the PS4 version. This is just unbelievable. It's so smooth. It's so easy to jump in and out of games with people. It's just such a good console adaptation for Blizzard's like first big thing on consoles. It was really well done.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about it. I'm working on my platinum trophy. I'm almost done with it actually.
Nice.
Maybe.
I had it and I moved off of it. Elite Dangerous.
Mm.
Elite Dangerous is the definitive massively multiplayer space epic, bringing gaming's original open world adventure to the modern generation with a connected galaxy, evolving narrative and the entirety of the Milky Way recreated at its full galactic proportions.
That was a lot of letters.
Sounds large.
It does.
I've heard about this game several times.
Yeah.
Not interested in getting it. But it just kind of popped out. I saw Elite Dangerous and I'm like, I've heard people talk about that in podcasts.
Yeah,
that I've
it
been
sounds
listening
pretty familiar. So
to. Jump Jet T-Rex? Is this just like,
as you will.
oh, yeah,
Jump
Jump Jet
Jet?
Rex?
You're a T-Rex.
Isn't that like a mobile game? Jump Jet?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like
You just like jump.
Yeah.
Not sure that's one of those things that needs to be on a console, but hey, you spend your money the way you want to spend it.
Yeah.
Plague Road. Yeah, I said that right.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Plague Road. PS4 digital, set around a city being consumed from within by a disease. Plague Road tells the story of a lone doctor who once left home and now returns in search of those who have survived.
Tells me absolutely nothing about what kind of game
0%
this is.
of what kind of game this is. The artwork looks interesting. It looks.
Mhm.
I don't know. I would imagine you go in and you're maybe it's like a zombie game, apocalypse game. Is it a 2D side scroller? Is it a top down game? Is it 3D adventure? Oh, are you looking at it now? That face doesn't bode well.
It's 2D side scroller. Oh, I
8-bit
think it's
grossness.
No, it's not 8-bit.
Roguelike.
No, it looks like turn-based combat.
Oh, gross.
Maybe. This looks.
Oh, I already don't like this.
This looks
I
nasty.
hate it already.
Yeah.
Yep.
No thanks.
All right.
Awful.
Can honestly not recommend this game.
Sad that all it takes is like 5 or 6 screenshots.
I'll let you guys go in and make your own decisions on it.
But don't do it.
But if you're skipping on that, you get Micro Machines World Series.
Ooh, tell me more. Tell
The
me
legend
more.
is back. Micro Machines World Series combines thrilling madness of racing micro vehicles with epic team battle strategies.
What?
Set against the extraordinary interactive backdrops of everyday home.
What?
So you're racing on tracks inside a house.
That's freaking ridiculous.
I don't know what you're doing as team battle strategies.
Yeah.
Opposed from like me and my buddy, like we had Cruising USA on the PS2.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we play together, and we just alternate who's gonna win.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, all right, you go in front, I'm gonna sit in back, and I'm just gonna knock the cars from the side as they get up here. So a car pulls up, you see it, you just dunk. Car pulls up, you see it, just dunk. Next race, you switch. I
you
race
go.
first, and he sits in second and knocks cars out from behind me.
Yeah, when I hear epic team battle strategies and racing vehicles in interactive backdrops, I think Twisted Metal. That's what I'm thinking.
Fair enough.
So,
Like arena battle cars.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be that.
Yeah.
Boy, there's just a lot of
Valkyria Revolution.
crap coming out this
Valkyria
week.
Chronicles was the last Valkyria game I've heard of, I think.
I think so.
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
in Valkyria, so I can't really I don't know anything about it. So
Can't not recommend
up.
it, but
PS4, PS Vita, digital, PS4 retail.
oh, hey. PS
So
Vita, that's weird.
well, Valkyria. That's what I can say. I'm gonna look at it real quick. I want to see what it is.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's something in the same vein of like kind of a virtual novel, but I could be 100% wrong. I'll
You
let
could
you know in a
be.
minute.
You typically are.
I try to do my
it's-
best. Sega of America, $40.
Oh, that's interesting. It's
Yeah, looks like it's in the vein of like Persona,
like an RPG walk around
strategy.
strategy.
game. So
Oh, gross. Turn based too.
I'd be willing to bet.
Mixes real time combat and tactical strategy, a gorgeous visual style, and more.
Yeah, so it looks.
No.
Their style kind of looks like frick, I forgot the game.
It just looks weird.
It's gonna drive me nuts. I had it like you were in a prison, you had
Mhm.
a 1,000,000-year sentence, and you go do missions to drop your sentence down.
That's interesting. I don't know.
It
I've
was really
never heard of
fun.
that. Hmm.
I'm gonna find it because it's driving me nuts.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's,
entertain yourselves.
no, that's pretty much it for the drop. That's
Freedom
it.
Wars.
Freedom Wars.
That game
There
was
you
fun.
go. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, that's all we have interesting. That's all we found that was interesting, and some things we didn't find interesting.
That's true. And we skipped over the stuff that was really uninteresting.
But if you're,
I mean,
interested-
seriously, we're talking like there's probably 30 games here.
this drop
in
was
the drop.
big.
I mean, they're making up for just having crappy drops before and just giving us
Pre-E3
more
drops.
substantial crappy drops.
Thanks, Ryan Clements. Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, he's just reporting.
That's okay.
He's just bringing us the
Yeah,
truth.
it's true. It's
Dropping
true.
that truth bomb.
We appreciate it. We stay classy. But that is going to wrap it up for the whole show this week. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We appreciate you watching, subscribing, and commenting. And you had a finger in the air.
I do have a finger in the air. No, we're not missing anything.
Okay.
But stay tuned. If you guys are listening to this in the morning, we have something super special coming out today that's really exciting.
True. It's going to be a little mix up on the channel for a quick minute. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to check it out. And thanks for hanging out. Bye.